Hello Year 6 and welcome to our fifth and final lesson on our rainforest layers, and we are heading off to those sunny heights of the emergent layer, so let's get started. First of all, we're going to be watching some videos. Get that pen and paper ready so that you can take some notes. Not so many videos today because there's not quite so much to talk about in the emergent layer, so we're going to be mentioning that and then looking at a conclusion. Hopefully you're ready to get started.
The emergent layer is the highest in the rainforest. It is where the tallest of the trees stick out from the top of the canopy. These are also the oldest trees in the Amazon rainforest, maybe even hundreds of years old. They can easily grow 165 feet tall. Some grow even higher. In order to live so high up in the rainforest, animals need to be able to fly or climb.
The emergent layer is the very top of the rainforest. It is known as the sunlit zone. In the treetops, the climate can change drastically. It can become very windy. The treetops up in the emergent layer catch the full rays of light from the sun and the maximum force of tropical thunderstorms. The emergent layer is made up of some of the oldest and tallest trees in the rainforest. These trees can grow up to 76 meters tall, and some have enormous thick trunks at nearly 5 meters wide. This is the layer where the magic really happens. The wind blows seeds and pollen across the rainforest, helping with the process of pollination and keeping the rainforest actively alive. The many birds, bats, butterflies, and bees that live up high in the emergent layer also help with the process of pollination and seed dispersal. It is only the animals and birds that can fly or sing from branch to branch, like monkeys or squirrels, that can live so high up in the windy treetops of the rainforest. These can be difficult conditions to live in, and the climate can change all the time. It can move from boiling hot to torrential rain or extreme wind in a very short space of time. The animals and birds that live in this top layer of the rainforest have to learn to adapt quickly.
Hopefully you've got plenty of notes there, and maybe you remembered some of the things that we've listened to in previous videos about the emergent layer, as they mentioned it with the canopy at the same time sometimes. Anyway, I've got some notes here and you can feel free to magpie from these, add to your own. Let's go. So, only a few very tall trees break through the canopy into the emergent layer. You've probably realised this is the trees here that can be as tall as skyscrapers. You might want to use a simile in your writing. The tops of the trees are shaped like umbrellas as they grow on tall, sturdy trunks, and some of which can be up to 5 meters in diameter. That's the width across the entire tree trunk. So they can be absolutely massive, and they'd need to be in order to withstand the wind and the rain up in this topmost layer. These trees get the most sunlight, but they also have to put up with the baking hot sun through the day, as well as those strong winds and storms. So they've got to tolerate a variety of weather conditions. It says here that this is the tallest layer. The treetops measure over 200 feet, so they really are very tall, these trees that emerge out the top. This layer receives the most exposure to sunlight as well as high wind levels, so similar to some of these notes up here, so making same sort of points. Among the species inhabiting the planet's 2.6 million square miles of rainforest, only those that can fly or have agile movement dwell in the uppermost layer. Dwell is another word for inhabit or live, so you might choose to use a different word there. And then of the 4 tropical rainforest layers, the emergent layer, or often known as the sunlit zone, is the layer where the most sunlight reaches and the tallest plants and trees reach. There's an example here of a tree which was mentioned in a previous video. The kapok tree is a hardwood evergreen tree that provides shelter to many of the emergent layer birds and insects. That says at the bottom there. So kapok tree is a particular example of a tree you might want to include if you wanted to include a particular example. So here's a modelled example of this final layer. It's probably going to be your smallest paragraph as there's not quite as much to write about this level. So, at the uppermost level of the rainforest, the emergent layer is the name given to the trees as tall as skyscrapers that emerge above the rainforest canopy. Some of these trees can be as tall as 200 feet. Up here, the trees are exposed to all the elements. It is extremely hot under the bright daily sunshine, as well as being unprotected from the harsh storms. As a result, only the strongest and tallest trees, not trees, check that spelling as we're reading it through, ever reach and can survive at this level. For example, the kapok tree, which is a hardwood evergreen. For obvious reasons, it is only those creatures that can fly or have agile movement that can dwell in the emergent layer. Being agile means to be flexible and have the ability to move really quickly and nimbly, like those spider monkeys and squirrel monkeys. So you've got an example there of the sort of thing you might want to write. You've got openers here at the upmost level. I'm just going to highlight some of these for you so you can see them. You've got up here, so you've got another prepositional opener. You've then got a conjunction as a result, linking some of your ideas together. I'll do that in a different colour. And then you've got your last one for obvious reasons. You've got an adverbial there to link those last ideas together. And then you've got some other language choices, like the word emerge, hence they're called emergents. You're talking about the weather, then you might want to use the word elements rather than the weather conditions. Hardwood is a type of tree that the rainforest is known for having, and other trees like mahogany also grow here. Words like agile or good scientific words, and dwell is a better word than live in the rainforest. So you've got lots of things there that you can include in yours, and you can see I've just gone through it just to check. I've used a variety of different language choices. Here's another one. Only a few very tall trees break through the canopy into the emergent layer. These trees can be as tall as skyscrapers and tower up to 200 feet in height. The tops of the trees are shaped like umbrellas and they grow on long, thin trunks. At this level, these trees get the most sunlight, but also have to put up with the hot sun and strong winds. Only those creatures that can fly or have agile movement can dwell in this uppermost layer. I'm just going to change this bit because I wouldn't say they were long and thin. I might say they were tall, sturdy trunks. Okay, so you can see there's 4 sentences here just to sum up this final layer, linking together with your prepositional phrases, making sure you've mentioned the creatures, the plants, the trees, possibly an example included in your final level. And because this is quite a short paragraph, I'd like you also to write a final summary conclusion to this piece of writing, which we're going to have a look at now. So, like your introduction, I'd like a conclusion that just summarises the key elements of the rainforest, how you've perhaps mentioned how the layers rely on one another, that they're interdependent, that they're a unique habitat perhaps. I've popped you in an example here, which is only a couple of sentences long, just to show you an example of how you might sum things up. Having understood how each layer relies on the next, it is clear that the rainforest is an amazing place where interdependence is key. Because of its unique habitat and resilience, rainforests have existed since the time of the dinosaurs, and the complex layers enable the rainforest to remain a fascinating and largely undiscovered ecosystem. I might just add on there, which will hopefully continue to exist for many more thousands of years. Just to sum up and wrap that up, so looking to the future of our rainforests. That's a very long sentence. I might have to edit that one. Yes, I am going to edit this one. Because of its unique habitat and resilience, rainforests have existed since the time of the dinosaurs. Full stop. That's the end of that. The complex layers enable the rainforest to remain a fascinating and largely undiscovered ecosystem, which will hopefully continue to exist for many more thousands of years. That's better. And I've done another example here, just to use some of the language that we talked about at the very beginning, biosystems, habitats and so on. So here's another example. The rainforest is a unique biosystem that has been around since before the dinosaurs. With its complex system of interdependent layers, this amazing and beautiful habitat remains one of the most important ecosystems on our planet. Let us hope that it will continue to thrive into the future as we continue to explore and discover its many wonders. Actually, I prefer this one. I think it sounds a little better than the last one. But again, it's only a couple of sentences long. This time I used a semicolon to link those two independent clauses together at the end. So, talking about the beauty and possibly the future of the rainforest. So, something for you to consider in your last section of writing. And when you're completely done and you've finished your report writing by writing the emergent layer and the conclusion, here's your final checklist. You don't have to print this off, you can just go through it. And you've been doing this all the way through this piece of writing, so hopefully there will be nothing that comes as a surprise to you, and you've got lots of different things that you've included all the way through, and you can go back and check and edit. And like I did, just make sure you haven't repeated yourself, used words over again, and you've up-leveled as you reread it through yourself. So I look forward to reading those this week, Year 6. Good luck.